I wonder what you mean when you use the word I.
I could be a fucking crescent roll and a chevron right now, son.
I would be the least bit surprised to learn that all four of them habitually smoke marijuana cigarettes.
The bizarre nature of this fucking strange thing called life.
As you know, we always keep this thing on the DL.
Hello and welcome to the first episode of What Did I Spill on My Shirt? Just kidding, this is on the DL. My name is David Label, and today I have a special guest, my first guest. He's headlining a show at the Brea Improv on November 19th. Check it out at breaimprov.com. And please help me welcome Ron Burgundy's son, Gage Johnson.
That was good. I like that. That was awesome, actually.
Thanks. I'm glad you like that one. How you doing, man? Thanks for
good.
coming in.
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me. This is a beautiful setup we got here.
Thank you.
We got Frank. We got a machine gun. A Sublime beer can. I think, and they got NWA. This is what life's about.
Yeah, so unfortunately, I think on the camera, the Eazy-E is kind of blurred out. There's like a glare.
He's over there.
He's there.
Eazy-E's over
Eazy-E
there.
is there.
He's here in spirit.
And that's Ice Cube. And that's Frank. Frank Sinatra's greatest hits, if you can't see that.
Then get the hell out. I'm just kidding. I don't know. I don't know what they can see. But we're doing it. So hopefully you can see it from that angle.
Yep. And that's not a real gun. That's a airsoft gun.
That's just as cool because that's
Yeah.
what I
Still get shot over it.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll hurt. I
I
mean,
guess technically we all served our time playing.
yeah, you know, we were up in the hills out here, like straight up. There's a trail, and we would go out there and play. Pretty much just watch out for hikers, yell out hikers, even if you had to give up your spot. But it was like in the nitty gritty, like we were in Vietnam. It was nice. So Gage, how long have you been doing comedy?
It's been about going on only 2 years. 2 years, so
2
I'm
years.
fresh.
Headlining a show at the Improv, bro. How do you feel about that?
It's pretty much like the Conjuring of night terrors.
Yeah.
Only doing for comedy for 2 years, and then headlining the Brea Improv. It's my second time, so it's pretty epic. But you know, I love it, and I think this one's gonna be pretty good, and I think we're gonna send it.
Dude, I'm excited. You also have some pretty cool people opening for you. I know Cesar Ruiz. He's a good guy.
He is a good guy, and he's a good friend of mine, and we have very different styles of comedy. So that's why I like doing anything with him, because like if you get like a bunch of comics that are just like you on the stage, it's just like, oh, another awkward white guy with movie references. It's just like, okay, we saw 6 of those in a row.
Yeah.
And Caesar's just very like dark on his stuff.
Yeah.
We kind of low key call him Caesar the Cunt Ruiz.
I love that.
Kind of like how like in
I
like
love-
the mobster movies, there's just like they always have these weird nicknames,
Yeah.
and we just call him the Cunt. Like,
Yeah.
that's like off the record a little bit, but I always like doing shows with him because he's just like he's very punchy and like one-liners, and I'm kind of like storyteller, late night drinking, talking guy.
Yeah, his jokes really sneak up on you.
They do. So
Yeah.
we always like talking and having conversations about our styles and helping each other out and pushing each other. So
Yeah. That's awesome. You also have Chappelle Lacey.
Chappelle Lacey, that's gonna be really insane to have him on my show, and he is super funny and he's like very unique. It really wasn't so much about getting just a comic or whatever. I just like wanted to get somebody I could relate to, and I kind of like I could relate to that guy. Just and like you know, I follow him on Instagram, and I would see him at the store. The last time I performed, he was there, and then I see him at the Improv sometimes, and it's just his style. And he came out to Rage Against the Machine, Bulls on Parade, and I usually
That's
come
awesome.
out to that, and I was like, man, I was kind of pissed because I was like, that's like my song I come out to and stuff, and then I was like, I wonder if that guy really listens to Rage Against the Machine. I don't know if they just clicked play when I was at this one show he was doing, and then I'm on Instagram one day and I'm like watching like his story, and he's like, just going to Staples Center with my friend Tom, and it was Tom Morello. He was like hanging out with Tom Morello, going to see fucking Tool, and I'm like, this is insane. Yeah, he totally should come out to Rage Against the Machine. I don't deserve to.
Yeah.
So I gotta go look for another song.
Nice. I'm not even at the point where I can figure out what my intro song is.
It's fun. It's really
Yeah,
fun.
I'm excited to be able to do that.
I think there's kind of an art to it, and then there's not. It's just I have a lot of conversations about it. It's like it's like when you'd watch WWE, and like as a kid, and then you're as an adult, like, or you're doing something else, and you're like, what would be my song now? Like, do you have a song idea that you would do?
Yeah, I have a few. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to get into them yet because I just don't know. I still haven't found like what my real voice is gonna be, so I haven't figured out what the energy
But
is.
what
that I
would,
wanna
just
have.
for the sake of it, what would you come out to?
Have you heard Ohio by Crosby, Stills and Nash?
Okay, we're getting really deep cut right here.
Yeah, so I just love the intro. That guitar just rips way too hard, and I feel like that's a good way to kind of get the energy started.
Yeah, there's like, you could do something that's like groovy and it's just kind of like, it has a good riff, and then I like doing stuff that's like, just come out to Britney Spears.
Yeah,
And
Shock
people are
value.
just
Yeah.
like, okay, and it's like, yeah, the shock value of it.
yeah. At the open mics I have done, there are some songs like they'll play girly songs like that, and I do end up getting some more laughs out of the gate
Yeah.
when that happens.
Because, I mean, you look like a freaking hockey player, so
yeah,
like you're like the goon
Yeah.
of the team, and then coming out to like something like that is just, but then sometimes coming out to something kind of mean works too, depending on your style.
yeah. I kind of the first one where I really came out and kind of like dissed my own look. It was, I said something about me looking like a lumberjack. Like, yeah, I know what you're thinking. What the fuck is this lumberjack doing in Pasadena? You know, something like that. Because that's what I've gotten a little bit more. But no, I could see that. I could see a hockey player coming out. I'm more of like what's like a goon. Have
Yeah.
you seen that movie?
It's one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, I feel like that's me. You know?
Yeah. Doug the Glat.
Oh yeah,
The glad.
that's funny,
Doug the Thug.
The thug.
dude.
How was it the
Not
first
really.
time you headlined at the Improv?
It was insane, dude. Like, I was like thinking about maybe leaving town if it just went bad, because it's like so much was invested in that, like in having that opportunity given to me. It was like insane because, I mean, bombing at one show is like a smaller show is whatever. I mean, it happens, but at that scale where like everybody you love and everybody that like supports you and knows you is there,
Yeah.
and you're just gonna be known for that very well. Like, it's cool to be famous or like have that moment of fame, but then you're like, I don't want to be famous for the wrong reasons, and I don't want to be famous for the guy that bombed super badly. And it worked out well though, because like a lot of people there they're gonna support you, and they're there to hear you out. And number one key is just remember to have fun with it.
Yeah.
But it was nuts because I didn't know what was gonna happen. Like, that place is huge. It seats 570 people, I think. And I was like, it was like 2 weeks before, it was like 20 tickets sold. I'm like, this is crazy. And then like the day before, it jumped up like 100, and then it jumped up like 150 the day of, and
It's date night, man.
it was something like that. It was like 250 or something like that, and it went well. It was like,
That's awesome.
so
Oh, damn, I keep doing that.
hopefully thunder strikes twice or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah,
We'll find
I
out.
I have a feeling it will.
Did you go out to
I mean-
Rage last time? Sorry.
No, you're
I
good.
came out to Can't Stop by Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Okay.
Dude, it just builds. It's it worked because I did like this video thing on the screen before, and then it builds as I walked into the stage, but I don't know what's gonna happen now. But it was just like the coolest moment ever coming out to that with
Hell
a glass in your hand, and dude,
It
it
feels real.
feels real. And then it
Yeah.
gets quiet because then everybody wants to hear you, and you're like, okay, party's over.
Yeah,
But
it's-
party's on.
It's go time. Yeah, that's awesome.
It kind of. Did you guys ever play sports? Like
Yeah.
Yeah, I played high school.
you played high
football.
school?
I played high school. You know, I pretty much
did
played
that.
high
Pretty much
school.
is
you know?
a sport, though.
It is
Come
a
on,
sport.
Like, there's an art to that shit.
There is.
There's an art to, yeah. There's, I don't want to go into that.
But no,
Yeah, I played high school football.
it reminds me of a lot of like comedy. Reminds me of doing sports or playing sports, like wrestling or football. It's just like
Yeah.
it's like fun to watch and stuff. And then when it's your turn, it's just like you better fucking bring your shit. Like
Yeah.
everybody kind of refers it to like being like more of like an entertainment. I mean, it is entertainment, but it's like because I wrestled when I was younger, and it reminds me of like when the spotlight's just sitting on you and it's quiet as fuck, and you could just make any mistake and the whole room's gonna see it, and it's also kind of reminds me of like boxing a little bit.
Yeah. Like problem solving and like
Yeah.
adjusting to what kind of your
crowd.
opponent, the audience.
The audience,
is,
it's kind of that's why I think a lot of like UFC fighters somehow are kind of like they kind of go towards or like they're starting to go towards comedy. I'm seeing a lot of UFC fighters
Yeah.
start doing comedy out
Yeah.
of nowhere, and it's really weird.
Brendan Schaub has been a lot of help, and Joe Rogan obviously
Yeah.
have been a lot of help doing that. Like I've seen Colby Covington at shows at the Comedy Store for Brendan. A lot of good UFC fighters like Michael Bisping was there to see Callan.
There's an Uncle Creepy. Do you guys know Uncle Creepy? There was a UFC fighter named Uncle Creepy. He's starting to do comedy.
Oh yeah.
Shout out.
Oh, hell yeah.
But it's kind of the same thing because it's like you're like the jokes are almost like you're setting things up like you're boxing. You're setting
Yeah.
up your strikes and everything. You're setting up like you're like playing, and then you throw your haymaker, which is like your punchline.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it's miscalculated, and yeah,
Sometimes you
KO'd.
might get knocked out. And
See, yeah, because any split second, the smallest error can fuck you up. It's just like racing, just like a sport. The second person to your left is bringing it.
Yeah.
The next guy up is bringing it. If you're not prepared for 1 second, I promise you there's somebody next to you who is.
Yep.
And that's the thing. You just gotta you gotta go. I remember when I was skating, just being at the line, and you hear that like, racers ready, racers set, and you're just, dude, the intensity. Because you know, if I kick my wheel, I'm out. If I take out another rider, I'm a bitch. Like anything like
Yeah.
that, you're just fucking.
You were downhill skating, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, Johnny was basically a pro downhill skater for a while. It's pretty sick.
yeah, that's
He
trouble.
I had classes with him, and he would show up late in his skate gear with his longboard and everything.
Helmet in the hand, backpack on, leather suit, like fully fit leather suit. You know, fucking
That
last
is-
name on the back, like raging minutes before on late starts. Walk into fucking English class, be like, can I go to the bathroom? Can I go take a shit so that, I can change?
That is a Disney Channel movie in the making, right
Dude.
there. Like just like
Yeah, absolutely. So you mentioned the Comedy Store.
yeah.
How many times have you performed there?
I think like 4 times. I think. I might be doing a 5th one pretty soon.
That's
This next week. That was awesome.
Have you done just the Belly Room, or?
I've just done the belly room.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's still just top tier. That's the place you want to be performing at.
It is like it's pretty insane. I mean, like a lot of people like when you start talking to comics and stuff, they're like, "Oh, it's the belly room," but then like, freaking, my first time being there, I'm only like a year in, and like, I remember like it was the first time I got to sit in a green room, like as a comic, and I'm like about to go up, and there's a bunch of kind of like guys on my level, and then like 3 spots before me, like Bill Burr goes on.
Oh my god.
And I'm like freaking out because I'm like watching like Bill Burr, and I'm like, oh, this is awesome. And I'm like, oh shit, I'm gonna go up in like 3 more spots. I'm like,
Oh man, that's a tough follow for an experienced like pro comic.
yeah,
There's some people that people just don't want to have to follow, and for you to have to do that,
Bill Burr,
that's
is-
intense, man.
like I don't know, like top 5, top 3, like you know what? I think
I-
he's up there because he's on Star Wars right now. He's on The Mandalorian now.
Oh, he is. I haven't
So
seen
I
it.
think he's made it. I don't know. I mean,
seen it.
I'd like to be in Dave
you
Chappelle's
know.
shoes, but then have a role in Star Wars. I'll take that any day. So
Yeah, and Brian Callen's career is finally taking off for that role in Joker.
is it because like he was in it for like 10 seconds?
It's a cameo.
I know. I was just
Like,
playing.
oh
around.
yeah, okay.
But he
Like,
got
yeah,
in.
with
He got
Prince.
in. Dude, you know
He
how,
there was a few comics in that movie.
you know how much shit Todd Phillips produced? You know he produced Project X?
yeah,
The movie
I
that
didn't
got
know
the
that.
cops called on them in Pasadena and was almost shut down and fucking destroyed a whole neighborhood practically.
The movie
No
did.
way.
Yeah. Bruh.
I didn't know
know
that.
that.
They lit trees on fire in the beginning of the movie. They straight up say we apologize to the city of North Pasadena and its residents because this was some fucked up shit. Like it
I
was
wonder what the
Yeah.
budget on that was.
one night get a bunch of teenagers fucked up and film it.
Yeah, yeah.
Go to Chico.
It was probably a good profit margin for how much
Yeah.
they had to spend.
It was a cheap movie. It's one camera the whole time.
There's just a lot of actors. There's like a lot of
Yeah.
filler people.
The extras are cheap. Everyone wants to be in a movie, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Pay them $100 a day. That's PA rate.
true.
Nothing.
That's true. Damn. I forgot. There was something else about the Comedy Store I wanted to ask.
Man, fuck them when people say like, "Oh, it's the belly room." Like, yeah, it's the belly
Yeah.
room, but it's a room at the store.
It is.
It's
yeah.
the room
I
on
mean,
Sunset Boulevard. Like, it doesn't matter what. Either way, I've been there. Have you performed there? Have you performed there?
No,
No.
I
So why are
haven't.
you talking shit about my time?
No one's gonna like really shit talking. It's just like you start putting things into perspective in that place
It's a
little
stepping
bit.
stone.
It is still amazing. You know what? I mean, it's not. I'm not gonna even knock on. I'm not knocking it at all. It was like every time I still go there, it's still like I can't believe I'm here. There's so much like culture, like just so much history in that place,
Yeah.
and it just smells different. It just like you could just smell the funniness in there. I don't know what that would smell like, but it's
Yeah.
just like
And there's drugs in the walls.
there's drugs in the walls, like pretty much.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
That's aged
There's-
cocaine.
And just a lot of just sex, just dirty stuff's has gone down.
But it's beautiful in a sense because it's not like
It's the essence of
history.
it's the essence of what comedy is.
Yeah.
That's like the epicenter of where the greatest comedy goes.
it is because I mean I think it's more of like kind of like it's a training ground for like a lot of big comics and because they can't just go. I mean you can, but it's kind of weird to just go to like random open mics. I mean, I don't know at that level like what you would do because being Dave Chappelle signing up at like a place in Orange County scene. I don't know, but I look at it like it's like their stomping grounds, and then for us it's like we get to be a part of it every once in a while and stuff. For me at my level, and so no, there's like really gross clubs, and then there's like Comedy Store like where it's like beautiful and musty, and it's kind of like
it's aged.
it's like an aged
Aged.
whiskey or scotch or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Do you have like an inspiration out of like maybe who's your favorite person that you've seen at the store? Like who's killed the hardest or made you like feel the most inspired? And then overall, like, is there a single comedian or couple comedians that kind of influenced you to get into comedy?
I think my favorite comic, and it was not what I was planning on. Like, I think everybody, I get asked this a lot, and they're like always, and it's kind of underwhelming because I always think big names, and I I respect the big names, and I like watching them, and there's a whole different, I think there's a whole different ideas being that big because like there's comics, and then there's like gigantic comics. So one of the comics I love watching is Rocky Lepore.
I don't know who that is.
He's from Chicago. He's been doing it since like the 80s, maybe before. He's just like a good old Chicago guy, and he just lives and breathes comedy, and he's been, he kind of does the same set, like he's been doing it for a long time.
Uh-huh.
But it's not in the sense of like laziness. I feel like when I watch them, because I've seen some comics do the same set over and over for years, and they're just milking it for like paychecks. But this guy, it's kind of like that uncle that you see like on Christmas or Thanksgiving.
Tell the story.
The
Tell the
not
story.
the not creepy one, but not the creepy
Yeah,
uncle, but the uncle that had always the good stories and stuff. And you always know the punchline to his stuff, but you're just like, he just gets you because you're just waiting for it. And I love that kind of comedy. And I mean, yeah, I look up to that guy a lot, and he's a super nice guy. I like people that are like, I mean, I look at people that are nice, because you meet some people that get off, and they're not the nicest people.
Yeah.
Who else do I love watching? There's a guy named Marty Worst. He's
Worst.
in the Orange County scene. Just different comedy, talking about just out there thing. Like, he was talking about what he's thinking about. He had this joke about it. He was watching a movie, and there was a cat in the movie, and he was like, I wonder if that cat knows he's in a movie. And then he was talking, and it just continued. He just kind of riffed off that, and I just thought it was so funny, and it just makes me want to do comedy when I hear stuff like that. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's awesome.
There's like Steve Martin.
Steve Martin. Yeah. Are you a fan of Cheaper by the Dozen?
I am.
So, the two twins that are in the movie, the little redhead twins. I grew up with them. Like,
What?
we used to, kick it. They're probably going to come on the podcast.
Now they have to.
Well, I mean,
I'm
yeah,
just gonna.
I guess we could edit
I might
that
show
out,
up here that
but-
day and just kind of stand in the corner.
Yeah, dude.
Just stand in the corner and just watch and
They're cool. They're cool.
Yeah,
see if we're gonna
really
get
cool
a
guys.
reboot or not.
Yeah.
See if they
I
get a
mean-
reboot.
I want to know.
Yeah. Yeah. Shout out Brent and Shane. Come on the podcast, please.
Please.
No, but they're actually like really good guys, and
I hope so. I don't want to know like if they're like up to like no good. Like they're just like those guys party like crazy now.
nah, they got their
Slip.
heads on straight.
Okay.
Yeah. Probably shouldn't be talking about them too much. Just, my thing's not working now. But yeah, no.
I
Sorry.
want to. We could talk all night. I'll talk all day. How about
I went to downtown Disney with them one time. We went on a church resort. We were at church retreat. Fucking, it was like a Easter egg hunt kind of deal, and we had to find all of the youth campers. And it was the one time I ever met his parents and his mom.
was it
Oh,
Steve
yeah,
Martin?
they're awesome.
No, the twins, and we had to find all the youth leaders for the church. It was really cool. It was a cool night. Super nice kids, super nice dudes. Like, I haven't talked to them in years, man. So
Yeah,
it'd be cool
nah.
to reconnect with them, see them.
Yeah, I've been texting back and forth with them. We've
That's
been trying to meet up.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, because we kind of got disconnected for a while. We went to different high schools after, but yeah,
Dozen got split up.
the dozen.
Third
The-
movie they have a
Doesn't
divorce.
Bro,
Let's
they
split up.
they had Drake and Josh. They had,
They're
a
gonna call
wedding
the second movie
thing.
6x6.
6x6.
Yeah, and then it's just 4x4, and then because people are gonna start dying, you know.
Dude, they just get killed off, and then
Yeah.
they got dark. Sorry, no, I don't want that to happen. I want the reboot. Let's bring it.
Yeah, no, hopefully. I wonder what is Steve Martin still doing stand up? I know he was doing the master class. Did you see that?
Yeah, I would like to watch those, but aren't they
watch
like
those too.
super expensive?
They're
I have no
99
idea.
bucks a course.
No way.
That's
Of
not
course.
too much. I mean, think
It
about
is
how,
when you like a lot of shit.
there was a lot of them I saw that I would like, on Instagram you're scrolling, you're like, another one pops up and it's like Tony Hawk. He's like, I don't know, I'm just imagining that it's like,
Yeah.
we're gonna learn how to skateboard today.
Yeah.
Dude, Steph Curry
Instantly
teaches you how to
hooked up.
shoot threes. Daniel Negreanu teaches you poker. Phil Ivey teaches you poker.
Oh, man.
I just
Steve
keep-
Martin teaches comedy, writing, and stand up.
Yeah. How long is the course?
It's all their knowledge, bro. It's as long as it needs to be.
Can you imagine like it not going well though? And you're just like, I want my money back, and there's just like some 45-year-old man in Michigan, and he's just like,
Just trying to
Coming
make. He
out.
thought
I
he
was
was gonna
supposed to
make
shoot
it.
threes. What?
Yeah. He
What's
thought he
going
was gonna
on?
make it because he watched Masterclass. That's, that Kevin Garnett. Anything is possible. Who ripped on that super hard I think it was like, I don't know if it was Family Guy. No, it was Key and Peele. Key and Peele, where they did the skit where it was like, anything is possible. And then it was it was an interview, but he was like, seriously, kids, jump off the roof, you can fly. Like, and the interviewer was just like, no, Kevin, you got to tell him like to stop.
Oh,
Like,
I get
you
where
know
you're
what I'm
going.
saying? Yeah, I'm not good at explaining those type of skits, but uh, would you say that comedy is like a a trial and error profession in like the truest sense? Like it's all about getting up there and failing.
Oh yeah. Um, it's yeah, just fail, and then start sail, and
Sailing. Yeah,
then you're
baling
soaring.
some hay bales.
It's yeah, it still happens. I mean, it's scary because when you fail alone up there. It's that's why I think there's a lot of comics that just get really deep into some stuff because it's all on you and you are you up there. You're giving everything you got. There's a lot of energy, and when you know you hear a whole room be silent to something you did, that's a whole room not giving a fuck and thinking you're not funny in one joke. It
Yeah,
hurts really badly.
yeah. You might just start sweating immediately. Like it'll show. You
Yeah,
know?
and you just have to like persevere.
Yeah,
And it takes a lot when you're trying to gain a crowd back,
yeah,
and it's a lot of self-deprecation
yeah,
and being okay with like that didn't work out. You got to just keep your chin up and you can't like start blaming the crowd and stuff. It's all on you.
It's be like,
It
well,
really.
that went differently in my head a
Yeah.
little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah. It sounded a lot better in my
We're
head.
here
You know?
now. How we doing?
Yeah. And like, have you ever been at a show where just people aren't paying attention? Do you know? Do you play like a lot of bars or?
Yeah, I do Mulberry, Nerdy Thursday in downtown Fullerton. It's
Oh,
the
okay.
first place that let me do comedy,
Nice.
and I think it's awesome because they don't really. It's not like comedy, like super honed in on. Like it's just like it's a kind of a variety show, and it's a local variety show with different. These guys have been doing it for 7 years, and it's just for fun. Like they're not trying to like make money out of it. It's something we all get away from and from our personal lives and just go there and just help out the local, like they have this guy that reads the newspaper, Jesse Latour, and it's just he just reads the newspaper to
That's some
everybody.
Andy Kaufman shit, though.
It kind of is, but
it is.
but the thing is like he's just like, oh, that wasn't meant to be funny. Like when he goes to the obituary, it just like it's super funny. Like everybody like starts laughing and like these are like real people, but he's not trying to make it funny, but he's just
He's
like,
just reading
and
it.
then
Yeah.
you almost look at yourself and you're like, why did I think that was funny? It's kind of
It's so dry. It's
Yeah.
such like a dry humor that you just can't help but laugh. Like this guy's actually up here doing that.
yeah, very much. But I perform there, and sometimes there's so many drunk people and they're just yelling and stuff, and you just kind of have to. It's a good tool to just kind of work through that, because then it pays off when you go to like shows where people paid to watch you.
Yeah.
Because like when you go to places that people pay to watch comedy, they're kind of already they're gonna be like, I'm going to laugh
Yeah.
Yeah.
one way or
Yeah.
another. I'm going to enjoy this.
I'm gonna try to
No
see
matter
the
how
funny
many
side
beers
of
it takes me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they'll just sit there and just go ha 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 ha. Like comedy clubs, it's kind of. I mean, it's comedy and it's awesome to see people still crowding around like somebody telling jokes, like spending hundreds of dollars. But it's almost kind of gross and scary to see how society is, like how we get away from something. Like we just see these giant lines of people sit down like this and then they just eat food and there's like ha ha, there's like hundreds of dollars, and they get up all quietly and they just go to their next thing. It's like a
Yeah.
conveyor belt. You're like,
Yeah.
get the next herd in here.
Yeah.
Um
People leave, new people come in, no cover past 10 kind of thing, you know?
Yeah.
You see all types of people.
But
It's-
it's,
it's-
beautiful too,
Yeah.
because it's comedy and I love doing it. I love making people laugh, and nothing makes you feel like, even when you relate to the whole crowd and they get you, that feels amazing.
So what about when the crowd? How about hecklers? How do you deal with hecklers?
Hecklers, man. I've you try to do your best. You try to sometimes you just try to ignore them, and maybe they'll like you'll just carry on. And then there's somebody that just starts getting out there, and maybe you'll reference something in your joke. I don't know. It's kind of weird for me because um it's only funny like I feel like when like somebody like just looking at me like if I heckle somebody badly enough like I kind of look like kind of like a broy kind of guy.
Yeah.
I don't want to look too much like a bully, and so it's just like not funny because I've done that before where you fire back at somebody and then like the crowd kind of you have to be kind of careful with it because if you fire back and it's not funny or if it's just too
Personal.
if it's too mean if it's
Oh,
like
man.
if it's too mean, it's not even like really personal, but if it just lands weird enough, I've heard like everybody just kind of be quiet and they're just like, it just
Yeah.
no, it just happens in like real life though. Like I've
Yeah.
had people like say something to me, and I'll fire back with something, and everybody's just like, oh come on, man, like it's like,
Yeah.
and it's usually like somebody that's like kind of a little bit smaller of a person, and it's
Yeah.
almost like it's a visual kind of thing, like to, you know,
Pick on the little guy.
yeah,
Yeah.
and so I try to. It's kind of weird if I do ever get heckled because like my style of comedy is trying to be friendly and stuff, and I don't try to get people going and stuff. There's some comics that like they'll try to get people going. And those are like the best comics. Like they know how to like handle crowds, and
Yeah.
almost do 30 minutes of a set with somebody in the crowd. Like,
Yeah. Andrew Schultz. Remember that?
I'm sorry.
And that Andrew Schultz 30-minute the crowd work set. You know what I'm talking about?
Dude, he released it the same day as Chappelle, and he came out with a 30-minute.
You haven't seen it?
No.
It was like somebody put this fucking front row together, bro. There was an old white lady, there was a black guy, Indian guy, girl in a tuxedo, like suit, business suit. There was like one table, it was like just all very dark skinned black people, and he went into full on like it is a push the boundaries set, to say the least.
Yeah.
He goes
it's
hard,
wild.
bro. He goes fucking hard.
Yeah, it's wild. It's like edgy. It's like
super edgy. If it was
but-
anywhere else, he would have gotten thrown off the stage. But he did it in Washington D.C. and they're super cool. Apparently, cooler.
He did
than
it at the
everywhere
DC
else.
Improv.
Oh,
Yeah.
I have to look that up. That one's
Yeah.
I think
It's-
when it edited, the special worked out so well because they do the perspective from the back of the room, and they do his perspective, and they constantly switch it, and they make you see like the person he's making fun of is laughing, he's into it, like it's working out, like nobody's mad at each other. Where sometimes you do crowd work and you harp on one person too hard, and then you kind of just lost them because you harped on this one person too hard, you know.
yeah. It's I mean, I'm lucky enough not to have had anybody too crazy. Um. Yeah. I mean, I'll try my best on the spot sometimes. Yeah, I try to be kind of a little bit more friendlier with them, and I just try to be like, "What's up, man? You okay over there?"
Yeah.
And then because some people want to just be involved in the show and they don't know.
That they're messing
Exactly
it up.
what the procedure,
I just go, "Oh, is this your
the
show?"
protocol
I
is.
didn't know people paid to see you. No one, you know. I don't know. It's just it's situational sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't have a protocol what I do, and maybe I should. I don't know.
Is there such thing as a friendly heckler?
Yeah, there's people that like want to just say something like, "Hey, how's it?" And you're just like, I don't want to be mean to that guy, but and I've seen it before, and it's very situational, and it takes. I'm still working on it, but it takes that's a lot. That shows a good comic when you could make it funny, no matter what the heckler's bringing at you. If it's funny or if they're trying to be mean or something, if you're doing that, I'm always impressed by somebody handling hecklers.
Yeah, it's all about also like trying to relate to them, relate to the audience. Like it's probably easy for you because you're a relatable kind of guy. You're a personable person.
Thank you.
No problem. And so I feel like it is about letting them know kind of that you're on their side, and then giving yourself that little bit of cushion to kind of go at them harder. You know?
Yeah.
Not that I could do that very well.
It just goes back to like kind of talking shit to your friends.
Yeah,
Like, just know I'm your friend,
yeah,
but you fucking smell bad, dude.
yeah, yeah. Exactly.
I
Yeah,
fucked your
you know.
sister.
Oh man.
Just kidding.
dude.
Just kidding.
Yeah.
That was a little dark. Do you have a sister?
Yeah.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. No, she's in Africa. It's okay.
Okay. I did go to Africa one. I'm just kidding. I didn't.
Oh yeah.
See, that was reaching. That was reaching.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
I could see where you're going with that. You know. No, but
I just spent a weekend
Uh,
in Zimbabwe, man.
no, yeah, she's in the Peace Corps. She's out there doing some shit in South Africa.
That's-
So I'd
that's
really
awesome.
appreciate if you don't, say that.
Is she really in the Peace Corps?
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, we're
There's nothing wrong.
useless pieces of shit right here, sitting here trying to do a podcast.
Hey,
while
we're
she's
hyping
Yeah.
up the Peace Corps.
saving
Yeah.
the world.
No,
Shout out.
I actually don't want to hype up the Peace Corps. They treated her like shit.
Fuck
So
PETA.
What is
PETA.
the Peace Corps? Is it like I always imagine it's just like Jenny from Forrest Gump, just like walking around in Africa. I'm sorry, I don't know what it is.
no,
And then they don't eat meat or
no,
something.
that was like Vietnam, like protesting. But no, this is so they get it's like it's like a mission trip kind of thing, but without religion involved. It's like they get a bunch of volunteers and they send them to third world or second world countries, and mostly third
They
world
take
countries.
a bunch of
and,
Instagram pictures, probably.
and they just try to like help out communities, villages.
They
stuff
open a
like that.
Salvation Army.
That is dope.
No.
No?
What even is Salvation Army? I thought it was
Salvation
just
Army is
like a
where
thrift store.
you can go there, you can get helped out for clothes, you donate your clothes to them, you donate, canned food, kind of stuff like that, and they take care of the peoples.
It's where a
Yeah.
lot of comics go.
Yeah. 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 So yeah, but yeah, then you go somewhere and you're stuck there for 2.5 years, and
Joined a cult.
you pretty much yeah.
it's fucking...
I have Gage Johnson with me. Gage, thanks for being here once again.
Thank you once again.
Where are you from, man?
Are they gonna hear that echoiness?
Oh no, I can change it.
No, it's actually, it helps it. Keep it, trust me.
I
Keep it.
apologize.
No,
I
like,
apologize,
it's-
viewers.
It's easier for us to hear it when it's like this. We hear more.
Not only you hear more, but it gets you more into it. Like, I rap and shit, and like when I record, I put a little bit of reverb on that because it just gets you into it. You hear that back, and you hear like it's like a
It's snappier, but that's more when you're listening to a beat. I feel like.
no at all times. It just gives you a little more confidence. I think.
Candy paint with the.
Yeah,
Yeah, Johnny raps too.
I was born in Whittier, California,
Oh yeah,
which is just like right over there.
yeah.
We're in Glendora right now.
It's like 15 minutes. He goes to college at Mount Sac.
But that's where I was born. And then my dad is he's from Texas. He was a Marine. He's a sheet metal worker, and he rode bulls
Nice.
Uh,
Nice.
at 22. So like we went back to his area. We went over there. Or we moved to Oklahoma and lived there for 5 years with his side or his mom's side, my granny, and I kind of gained like an accent, and I would start doing my drawl, start getting all when I was like a little kid.
Like a real country boy.
Yeah, but and I'd visit in the summer. My grandma lived in Whittier, and it'd just be like day and night. It was like from going to like a Beach Boy song when you go and visit Whittier, to like a Pearl Jam song when you go back to Oklahoma. It's just dreary and just like the mill and all that
Yeah.
stuff. And then we moved to California. I moved so many times growing up, and then we settled in Redding, California,
Oh, okay.
which is pretty much north of the Wall in Game of Thrones. It's just wildlings everywhere. Like, it's just insane, dude. It's like pretty much the plot line of Breaking Bad.
Okay.
My school was on an anthill, and I still am. I was just the most awkward person in that town. I'm so thankful I grew up there, but it was tough growing up there, like being like a guy that wore Vans. Like I got like freshman year, I got like my ass kicked for wearing like Vans, just normal. Like they're like, you like wearing your sister's shoes,
Oh man,
and
it's
it
like
was
a different world, you know.
it was a little tough up there, and like but I mean, just as tough as it was, there's a lot of awesomeness to it, and I met a lot of cool people, and Reading was fun for what it was. But I was not meant to live there, and so I moved down here after high school. And but just going back to high school a little bit, I was in a lot of bands,
Nice.
and I was like, not good bands. Like
No, you played what, guitar?
I played guitar, and I would like sing, and then I
Nice.
would join a band, or we'd start a band, and it would end in like 2 weeks, and they'd be like, it'd always be like, hey, we're all quitting. I'm like, sounds like you're kicking me out. And they're like, no, we're just all quitting.
Oh yeah, we're all quitting and forming a new band.
I was like, what? Like, and so that just would happen a lot. But like, I'm still cool with everybody, and they're actually in really good bands. So,
Yeah,
um,
that's awesome. And it wasn't your path either, you know.
it wasn't. I still love playing guitar, and I still love like writing little jams and stuff. But I was not meant to do that.
Dude, we should throw a jam together one
I
time.
would love to.
You heard my intro, right?
I did. You
Yes.
showed it. It's really groovy.
Yeah, yeah.
I like it. It's like that 3 a.m.
Yeah, worked hard on that, man.
19
Shout out Kyle Reinhardt.
1970s vibe. It's like you
Yeah.
listening to the good stuff. Right
Yeah,
now.
exactly.
And
And I know my buddy Kyle would have loved to do some type of like sound, like voiceover on that, like exactly what you were saying.
Let's do it.
Yeah,
Kyle got the voice
might let him
for
do it, you know.
But yeah, that's where I grew up. And then 19, I moved down to Brea, California. Moved out, packed my bags, threw it in my Ford Focus, and I mean, like, just envision, like, you just hear, like, I'm just going down the freeway, I have no AC in my car, it's just like, Jeremiah was a bullfrog. You know, I was just, you know, reaching for my dreams, I guess. I don't know. But that was like, I moved down here just because I love it down here. And I ended up moving into a place with a 88-year-old lady, or 83 at the time.
Yeah, I wanted to get into that with you. You mentioned
can
that
get
a little
into me.
bit.
We'll get into it.
Hey, I'll get into you, you know.
Let's see.
But you mentioned something about, I'm pretty sure you're about to lead into that. This story about this lady you lived with for a while. It was in one of your videos on YouTube. Yeah,
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you about that. So yeah, go ahead.
Her name is Margaret Mitchell. She was from Georgia, and she was, if you watch my set, I talk about her. She looked like Yoda, Mr. Miyagi, and Splinter from Ninja Turtles, like put together as one. And she was like the sweetest lady, and she owned an antique shop, so it's just like the haunted mansion in there. And she just let us live there for $500, which is nothing in Southern California.
That's awesome.
So I lived there with another guy, who's a Middle Eastern guy named Ray, and it was like the weirdest version of the real world. The lady took care of me, and like everybody else around her, like we'd have a lot of my friends would come over, like just everybody. She'd be like, everybody needs to go to school. You need to go to school. You need to be a doctor. She told everybody they need to be doctors for some reason. And I didn't even want to do comedy, and she was like, you need to do like stuff on stage. And I was just like, I don't know. I need to go get probably a job. Like I need to do construction or something.
Yeah.
And that lady inspired me because she would just always pick, when are you going up? When are you doing? I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, so.
Yeah. We were at a show not too long ago where they had a medium who kind of basically described this lady Margaret and pointed exactly in your direction.
So going back a little bit, she did pass away.
Yeah.
She passed away a little bit over a year ago, and I lived with her for 7 years. So she was like a mother to me, and she was like the funniest lady. She just sing poems to you all day, and she'd just make the weirdest little jokes. She would just be like, Gage, you are the most handsome man I've ever seen in my entire life, or you are I would let you take me to prom. Your skin is so soft. I would wear your skin if it was a jacket. I want to wear your skin. I'm like, what are you talking about, Margaret? Like, she's like, I'm going to cut your skin off when you're sleeping, and I'll wear it. And I'm like, and it would just be awkward like that. I'm like, what? I'm just kidding.
Man.
We'd watch The Walking Dead, which she always like watching The Walking Dead with me. She's just like, let's watch The Walkers.
Oh,
Let's
man.
watch the walk.
She's a little too into the zombies.
Yeah, it was awesome. And she let us party too. She just let us like do what everyone. We just clean up after ourselves, and
She like Texas Chainsaw Massacre too.
dude, we'd watch like the craziest stuff. We watched Game of Thrones one night together.
Wow.
And
in the
I'm
good
just
stuff.
getting drunk
The
next to her,
good scenes?
watching her, trying to explain all the characters, and she's like, "They're just all having sex with each other." I'm like, "Yeah,"
Yeah.
and they cut each other's heads off, like,
Yeah.
and it's awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, she passed away, and like that was probably like the toughest moment I've ever encountered. Like seeing somebody like peace out in front of you, like just like is insane. Like I mean, we've all had like animals. I mean, I'm sure we've had people pass away. I never have had that happen to me, and I'd always hear stories, and I'm like, I don't know. Like I had a grandmother pass away like 10 years ago, and it was really upsetting, and it was crazy to see somebody pass away, but I wasn't there, and we weren't super close, so it kind of bothered me that I didn't cry, and I was like, I thought this was like you're supposed to cry, and so I got worried for a second. I was like, am I like one of those weird people that just don't cry like when things happen and stuff? And I'm holding this lady's hand as she like passes away and stuff, like in the hospital with Ray, the Middle Eastern guy, and our other friend Garrett and her parents and stuff, or not her parents, her son.
Yeah. Tongue twister.
So that was tough, and it took a lot out of me after that. And then I ended up just writing. I just wrote. I was like, I need to talk about this in my comedy, and just talk about this lady and pay tribute to this lady. But so we're at a show one night, and there's a medium there.
Yeah.
And
she basically, I see it like from an outside perspective. I couldn't imagine what was going through your head at the time, but she basically said, "I'm getting a name is Maggie or Margaret," and then it was like, okay, like I still hadn't realized what was going on at that point. I don't know if you did either.
yeah, I didn't. It was like trying
At
to.
first,
like,
were you kind of like, "Oh, I know that name"?
It was just kind of like, all right, I hear that name a lot. Like a lot of people hear that. I mean, it's not like super unique of a name, and I was like, and there's a lot of people in here, but then and I'm in the way back and of the club, and I'm like, I'm just gonna let this pass. And then she just starts going like further back. Like she's like, I'm feeling this further back, and then she's like,
She's pointing exactly in your direction.
yeah, and everybody's looking back towards me, and she had a real issue with COPD. I don't know the specifics of that. It's breathing.
Yeah, it's some
problems.
pulmonary disease.
Yeah, and she was like, "Oh, this lady had COPD very badly," and I was just like, "Oh, okay." Like my hair like stood up on my back, and like I was just like, just felt the chills, and yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, and then she kind of asked you a little bit. Did she ask you any other questions that I forgot what else she asked? But
She
there
was
something
saying,
else.
was she very friendly, and did she like to like dance?
She
and
liked to sing.
And
Yeah, I
was
remember
like,
that.
Dude, this is really weird, and it's real stuff. It's she was speaking to me, and I was all choked up, and that was very crazy and weird, and answers a lot of questions.
Yeah,
Unless somebody told her the specifics, that'd be really weird. But
yeah.
I
Really
don't know.
Weird, invasive. It would just
Yeah.
it'd be weird. No.
I don't know. I mean, like you're. That's just always a quick go-to. Is like who told you or something in your head. Like just, but then it really happened.
Yeah, and I mean, some people like, see, I have a hard time believing it, but at the same time, I really do believing it in just like the medium stuff in general. Until I saw that, that was one of the things that I was like, damn, like that I kind of got the chills too. That like, damn, that was happening in that moment, and it felt super real. I also had a story with a medium. Um, Basically, I was at my friend's house, and I got a call from this guy um, who he was friends with the dad of the person I was hanging out with, and he had told me, he was like, "Hey, my friend's gonna give you a call like later," and then this Indian guy, he's a really good guy, and so he gives me a call that day, and he's like, "What's the number?" So I was like, "I don't know this number," and I was like, "Is it him?" I showed it to him. He was like, "Yeah, it's him. Answer it." So I answered the phone, and basically this guy, I'm not gonna say his name, but he said, "Hi, my name is da da da," and like, I just wanted to say like some things to you, David, like, and I don't want it to seem weird, but this is like real. And then he kind of went into some details about my life that were like super way too specific to like know if you like, because there's, he could have like Google searched my name or done it, like
Yeah.
my Twitter or anything
Stuff
like that
you
and
only
find
knew.
out. Yeah, but there was things that only I knew. And then he asked me basically about a dream that I had where my grandpa was in it, and that was my first experience, and I was a little younger, but when my grandpa passed away, I felt like that similar experience of like life being super real and like death, that just seeing the effect of that on a family and on people.
Dude, it's crazy, man. It's just crazy to think of how real those things are and that
Yeah.
it's not fake. Maybe it is. Maybe there's somebody like sending out a weird cellular signal one day, and there's some software we don't know about.
Yeah,
Like kind of segue, like the shit on your phone right now, like how you can just like think about something and then it just pops up as an advertisement.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Facebook got some ins, bro.
Dude, the other day
Yeah.
I was thinking about how shitty of a gym. I don't know if I'm allowed to, like, are we allowed to say companies are bad? Like,
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
fuck
for
Pizza
sure.
Hut.
Oh,
fuck Pizza Hut.
honestly, I've
Unless you're
I've
drunk.
kind of been on Pizza Hut a little bit more than Domino's recently, and I always hated on Pizza Hut.
Bro, I like Pizza
I
Hut better.
always
Dude,
hated.
it's the better option.
But I was thinking about how much
Wait,
I
I thought you
hated.
just said fuck Pizza Hut.
I did.
Then, but you just said it was.
Because we could say whatever the fuck we want.
We're just saying things.
Oh.
But I like it. But
Pasta,
Planet Fitness sucks. And
spaghetti Eddies.
Planet Fitness popped up on my phone.
Planet
I mean,
Fitness just kicked out my buddy.
I mean,
so, yeah,
Spaghetti
fuck
Factory.
Planet Fitness.
Planet Fitness sucks. Probably. I've seen like. I think I know somebody who goes there. I've seen,
You
like,
know you're a
pictures
bad
of, like,
gym
the
when
inside.
you're used for every meme for a bad gym.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll tell you, 24 isn't that much cooler either.
Oh, dude,
even though it seemed as, like,
I
the-
love 24.
the
I love.
big.
I-
Well, where do you go in Brea?
I go to 24 in Brea.
Okay.
Shout
I've
out.
never been to that one. The one in San Clemente is super nice. That's like the best place ever. But the one
We're gonna start
where
talking about gyms right now.
the one that I go to, it's just like
Gym talk now.
sometimes we get overcrowded. I don't know.
Are you a 2 a.m. gym, bro?
I used to. So before I got into all this stuff, I had dreams of being a personal trainer, and that was like the big thing for me. And I was like all into like lifting and eating 5,000 calories a day, and because I was skinny in high school, I was 130 pounds, and
Damn.
yeah, so I looked like I did like cocaine in freshman year, and but I moved down here and I was like, I want to get big and everything, and I lifted, and I was doing very well. Like I probably could have, if I started shooting up, I probably would have gotten really ahead. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, when I was already like naturally doing pretty well with stuff, but it's just like, dude, I don't know. Like, it came to a point where like I'm a huge fan. We're all huge fans of Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like he's
Hell
like,
yeah.
he is the dude. Like that guy
Inspiration, man.
going in inspiration. I one of my biggest inspirations is Arnold Schwarzenegger because that guy just does whatever he wants. Like he just like Mr. Olympia, like 7, 8 times. I don't know, just everything. And then he moves to America, becomes an actor, takes over the like Hollywood and becomes Terminator and does like 30 movies as being the same character, but does it because he wants to and is the best at it. And then he's like, all right, I'm gonna get into politics. Becomes governor.
That's yeah.
Maybe not the best, but he does it because he just wants to. And I'm just like, dude, that guy was really
He got
good
reelected,
inspiration.
man. It's not like he did that bad.
Oh, you
know?
got reelected? Did
Didn't
he?
he?
I don't know.
I think he did. I think so. Like,
You're sponsored by Millennial
don't
Podcast.
you get? Yeah, how old were we when that?
We're millennials. We complain about politics, but we don't know anything. It sounds
know-
like I'm just speaking in general.
You know, I'm actually not a millennial. Well, okay, so some
yeah,
people
you
say
are. Are you 43?
some people say that it goes all the way to
You
2000s, but I was born in '97.
you are a
And they
millennial.
say the cutoff is '96.
no.
It depends where you ask. I'm just saying.
Did you ask a
I'm just-
millennial that was born in '96?
I didn't ask a millennial. No, this was online. You can look it up.
Wait, apparently,
Some-
there's
some-
like a
some
Gen
websites
X,
say-
and then we're like Gen X.
No, Gen
no,
X.
Gen
ended-
Y. It's like Gen Z. I don't know. It's
No,
like
we're
some
not
shit.
Gen Z. We're in
Look up-
between.
Can we somebody look
It's-
up millennial?
yeah.
Let's just get the Wikipedia, the official Wikipedia.
You know you can't trust Wikipedia.
You could totally trust Wikipedia,
can.
dude. 100%.
Dude, how do you
Dude.
think I got my C's?
Yeah, for real. C's get degrees.
Hey,
man.
so we're
Are we already cutting?
at 20 minutes.
Yeah, we still got time. We're good.
We can. Yeah, I think we got 10 more minutes.
We got like.
Oh, it's
But we
got
can
millennials.
also
seven.
we can
This-
also reset it one more time if we want.
Okay. So birth years are 97 to present. Actually,
For
actually,
millennials?
For what? For
no.
what? That's
no,
not
no,
for
no, no, sorry,
millennials.
no. Millennials born 1981 to 1996.
That's millennials.
But then there's
Yeah.
there's
That's millennials.
no, we're
Yeah, but
post
I'm born
millennials. No, we're
97.
okay. See, I told you we're
No,
in
it's 80
between. We're in between.
You're not a millennial. You're
I'm
He's
not
a
a
no.
millennial.
You're a
You're
post
Y.
millennial. You're a post
I'm a
millennial.
post.
you're
post
after
millennial.
millennial.
No, yeah. So there's the millennials, which is
You're even worse.
no,
Ah,
no,
okay,
we're
well-
not as bad as Gen Z. We're in between. We still had Game Boys, but we also had like record the TV with no commercials.
So what am I if I'm 93?
Also,
You're
go
millennial.
back and look at some of the things that happened in
Fuck.
1997. There were some cool things.
Yeah, we're
Um,
For example, Bert
post-millennial.
Kreischer got put on Forbes magazine or whatever as the #1 party animal in the world.
in '97.
Yeah, Tiger Woods won his first Masters.
the 3-peat
uh,
started. You know, 98.
Joey Diaz
98,
first
99,
came to the Comedy Store to Hollywood in
Dude,
'97.
You're just going. I'm
Oh,
trying.
yeah.
I'm usually good at this. I'm trying to think of what happened in '97. I'm trying to think of some Disney movies that came out in '97.
Bro, Slim Shady LP.
No,
Was it
that was
really?
'96 technically, right?
96 was Infinite. 97.
Well,
I think,
no,
I think 98.
96 was Infinite, and then 98 was
I think 98 was the Slim
the
Shady.
Slim
LP.
98. Brink came out.
Brink, like
The
Brink's
rollerblading
truck?
movie.
The
Backing up Brink's truck.
rollerblading movie.
You remember Brink?
I don't remember Brink.
He's
I
a
remember
movie head,
playing,
too. I don't
like,
know
a
if he doesn't know
crazy Game.
I for sure won't know it.
How old are you?
I'm 21.
He's same age as me, a little younger.
Okay, now I just feel like an old guy now.
You
I
are.
never thought that was possible.
You are.
but
What year were you? What year were you born?
93.
93. 90, I
93.
almost forgot my fucking birth year.
That's what it said on my fake ID back in the day. Actually,
Dude, my mom was 95.
Your mom's 95?
No. My
your
I
mom
was like,
What?
I thought you said
Uh,
your mom was 95 for a second.
No,
had
my
you at
fake ID.
74. That's crazy.
No, my fake ID was 95.
Okay. I believe that.
Right? With confidence.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta go in. I remember one time I was at this place in Huntington Beach, and the guy looked at the ID, and it was funny because like I swore off the ID one time. So like I had the ID and the first one, because it comes with two. When you buy one, they come with two. You know, and
Yep.
I had the first one. It was good. It was solid. I didn't use like the shitty one first and then get caught and then like go to the backup. No, I had the good one, and I swore it off, so I cut it. Because I knew how to back up. So I was like, worst case scenario, I just use the backup.
Oh man.
Dude, so I cut the first one, the good one. And the other one I had a crease down the middle. Like it looked like when they laminated it,
Yeah,
it just
yeah.
like there was a little crumple in the middle.
Oh,
So it
dude.
just had a line going through the ID. Or it just looked fake as shit. The address was like one beach road that
Wow.
in Maryland. You know, so I had the crab on it, but it looked good. Like I've seen other Maryland IDs, they look just as shitty. Like, and I use this all the time. I never got caught with it. There was one liquor store that actually turned me away, but I went to this club in Huntington Beach, and the guy was like, "Do you have anything else that has the same name in your wallet? If you have anything else in your wallet that has that name on it, you're good. You can go in the club." And that was like the standard. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
Dang.
you know,
That
I got a
worked,
debit card. You
that
know, we're
worked for me
good.
at a bar one time, but I got mine taken away. I got two good ones. I was one of the only ones out of like the people that I knew that got them all at the same time from this person that I got two really solid ones. And my first one I got taken away at I think I still have my second one, but my first one I got taken away on my 20th birthday in Vegas, trying to get into a club.
You can't use fake IDs in Vegas.
It was
Dude.
just a dumb idea. I kind of went for it. I was at like this event that was like nobody at this event was drinking alcohol. Like I was there with a couple friends out of like 15,000 people staying in this hotel, and like I was just trying to do something. I literally went outside to a bar that was like just outside. I think this was Caesar's Palace because it was at the Omnia, this nightclub. And I literally went outside and I was like, "Man, dude, they just took my ID and it was real, but they took it anyways." And this guy still served me alcohol.
I have a story about that in a second. If
I was actually
We
just
have
gonna, I'm
we
just
have
gonna-
5 minutes.
Well, we have a lot of time, so I'm just gonna
We have a lot of time.
do this. Well, now.
oh,
Just reset.
And it's just me looking at you like this, like
Just for a second, you know.
it's all right. We just need the second camera because I want Gage also like in the.
am I in here?
I don't know if you're in that one. You're in that one though.
Okay.
Wave. Hi.
Um, No, dude. So I went to this wedding one time, with my mom. Me and my mom went, and it was like our adventure. I don't know. Like usually, like, people always have stories about like going with their dad, and they have like those like camping stories and stuff. I went with my mom to this wedding, and she was. I already said that. Fuck, like 3 times. Sorry. I'm trying
No,
to,
that's just fucking funny. You're like you got this like dad and camping. You're just like, well, mine was a mom and wedding. So
conjuring
no,
up the
I
story
like
in my
it.
head. I'm trying to like grab the nostalgia of it in my head. We go and we like meet up this hotel, and everybody's like, "Oh, you're going to the wedding? Let's all like carpool and stuff, or like let's take a van or something over there." And I meet this guy named Jason, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm the groom's boss." And I was like, "Oh, cool." And so we go, and I don't know anybody there, and I only knew a few people there, but they were like doing wedding stuff. Like they're just like in the
You're
deep
in the
of it.
wedding. Yeah.
And I was like a really close friend of my mom's, and they were kind of dissing my mom a little bit, like really close, and like my mom that's like one of her best friends and stuff, and it was kind of weird, like how like women they get like with certain friends, so they get like housewives, like the show, and then some friends they're just themselves. And then she was kind of hanging out with her housewife friends, like they're housewives of Orange County, and I felt kind of bad for my mom, and I was hanging out with this Jason guy, and this guy's he came there by himself, and he's like the boss or something, and like we're just drinking, and I remember it was an open bar, and I was underage, and I was just fucking knocking him back, dude, and I was eating the hors d'oeuvres or something, and I was just taking them off, and then the lady finally just gave me a plate of hors d'oeuvres, and she's like, "Here you go, I'm just sitting by myself." And then Jason guy walks up to me, he's like, "Gage, what's up, man?" And we just start talking. He starts giving me all this advice, and he's just like, you really need to figure your life out. You need to know what you love to do, and you don't want to be alone like me and stuff. And I could tell my mom was upset too. And so we'd all start drinking and stuff, and then we break in. This guy's like, "Hey, I think they're serving." This could have actually gone really bad. This guy could have probably tried to hit on me or something. But he's like, "I think they have like the gift bags in that room." And we go in there, and there's like only a certain amount of gift bags, and there's none of them were like for my mom. And I was like, "Fuck this!" And so we just start opening up these bags, and they have like moonshine in them. And so me and this Jason guy start drinking moonshine, and he's just like, "Life's shit, man." He's like, "I pay for all my love." I was like, "I like you, Jason. I like you, man. Dude.
Oh man,
This is weird, but I like
Shout
you,
out
dude."
Jason, man. We love you.
And then he's like, "Yeah." And then like, so the wedding happens, and I start talking to my mom, and we're just drinking and stuff. And then the groom comes out. He's like, "Gage, how's it going, man?" And he's like saying hi to me and stuff. He's like, "Have you been hanging out with that Jason guy?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "That guy's not my boss."
Oh man,
And I was like, "I love
Jason,
this even
you
more."
are a dirty dog, man.
And he,
I'd love to have you on the podcast
he,
if you're listening.
we're leaving, and I remember this guy's taking off with some girl from the wedding, and I'm like, "Jason," and he's like, Gage, and he comes up to me and he gives me his tie. It was this purple tie. I still have it. It was like so like meaningful to me in a weird way.
It's beautiful.
And he's like, "I love you, man." And I was like, "I'll see you later, dude." And he's like, "You have a good life." And he just like faded off into the crowd. And then we left, and my mom and I went, we were like, "What do you want to do?" And they were having another wedding reception at the hotel we were at. And I was like, "Let's go in there." Because there was like drinks in there. And we were just like, me and my mom like crashed a wedding. And they were checking IDs, going back to IDs. And my mom's like, "They're not going to let you in." And I was like, "I got this." And I just pulled out my ID, even though it was underage. And they're like, "Yeah, just go in." They didn't like, I could tell the guy just didn't give a fuck. And I went in there. And this turns into something real quick. She goes to get me a drink, and these two girls wave me over. They're like doing this, and it's like a club at this point. And I go over there, and I start dancing with these two girls when my mom's going to get me a drink. And then this little Asian guy comes up to me, and he's like, "What the fuck's going on?" And I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "That's my fiance." And I was like, "What?" And he's like, he's about to like throw with me, like about to throw hands.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Dude, I had no idea, man. She told me to come over here and start dancing with her." And he starts yelling at me. And then my mom comes up to me, and she's like, "What the fuck is going on?" She's like, "I will fuck you up," to like the guy. My mom's just one of those. She's one of those just white ladies that you see like asking for the manager. Like,
Yeah.
she's one of those ladies at the grocery store. And she's like,
Oh my
fuck you up.
god.
And like,
It's assertive.
and the guy was like, "I'm so sorry. She's like, "This is my son." And then he like apologized to me, and he's like, "Let me go buy you a drink." And he went to go buy me a drink, and then his girl's still like waving me over. And then I'm like, "Nah." And he comes back over with the drink, and the guy kisses me on the forehead, and he's just like, "I just love her so much.
Oh,
I just don't want to be hurt." And I'm just
Oh,
like,
man.
I'm like, "Oh, dude." But then my mom comes over, and she's like with this other lady that's like her age, and she's like, I met this lady. She has a daughter here. I want you to meet." And this girl comes over, and she's super hot. Like, I have a girlfriend now, and I love her, but this is past tense.
But
it is
No, just
Jasmine from Disneyland.
What?
Yeah,
oh wow.
and
That's like the favorite. That's the favorite one.
yeah, dude. And she was like
awesome.
talking to me, and she's like, "Travis Barker requests me whenever he
Oh.
like visits the park and stuff." I'm like, "This is dope. Like, this is the coolest thing ever." And then I got her number, and my mom went back home to Reading the next day, and I was like hungover, and I was like, "Mom, I had fun." And she's like, "Me too." And we like gave each other like a high five, and I was just like,
That's cool.
I want it to be like a movie almost. Like I wish
Yeah.
that just was a journey.
If only you could have gotten a movie too, you know, just hook up with her and then you start your own movies, like you guys have your own movies or TV shows together.
The Aladdin girl, not my mom, right?
Yeah.
Either one. No, the Aladdin girl for sure.
Okay. Oh, that was like,
Did I miss something?
did you are you picking up on Lane?
No, yeah, you're good. You're good.
No, that might
bro.
have been my bad.
Got lost in the references.
You know, no, sometimes that just happens. But I've definitely had some cool moments with my mom where I'm like, you know what, fuck yeah, you know, you're not so bad after all, kind of thing. You know?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I missed
I felt like this got a little ancestral with Game of Thrones. Like, fuck, I
You
don't
brought
know.
it up, man.
I didn't know you were
know.
like, you might hook up with her, and I'm like, who are you
No,
talking
no,
about?
no, the Aladdin girl.
The Aladdin girl. Yes, the Aladdin girl. We could have.
Wait, okay. Was she really like the
She was
actress?
Jasmine.
Jasmine?
Yeah,
The actress.
yeah. No, not the actress. She.
She just plays
you
her
go
at
to
the park. Yeah.
But she looks like Jasmine.
But she looks like Jasmine.
Yeah.
That's even better.
Wait, what?
What happened right now?
That's awesome though. Jasmine's my favorite one. That's fucking great.
Yeah,
For real. Yeah. Kudos.
Jasmine. Yeah, Jasmine's who I wanted to have sex with. Nobody else, and no one at all other than that story at all. Not even Jason. Maybe Jason.
Jason's a cool guy, man.
I think I don't think you want to have sex with Jason. I think Jason kind of want to have sex with you, if anything.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Jason wanted to fuck you.
Shout out to Jason, wherever you're at, man.
Dude, I agree, man. Jason, keep living your life. That's one way to do it.
Fuck, I got cringy for a second there. I'm just gonna bring it back up.
Really? Go ahead.
I just bringing it into the mesh.
Bring.
I was always that guy that just made like, I made things way more awkward than they should have been.
Yeah.
Like they could have been just quickly just ignored.
I've been.
And I'm just like, hey, I'm sorry about that thing I just said to you right now.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't thinking about it, and I'm just like, no, I just wanted to make sure you are okay.
If
And
you
like,
think back on it later, like I'm trying to clarify it now, but you're gonna think back on this and it's fucked. Like at that
for
point,
sure been
it's
there.
just
For sure been there. You
oh man.
you call yourself the hopeless bromantic.
I do.
Right? You want to dive into that a little bit?
I always get misconstrued when I go to these bars and stuff, and like when I was single, I would kind of I always look like this fuck boy or something. Like these girls would walk up to me or I'd walk up to. I wasn't pulling that much tail, but girls would be like, "This guy looks like he's ready to party and bounce or whatever." And I always wanted a girlfriend. I like having a girlfriend. I mean, I had my fun back in the day, and I mean, yeah, it was awesome. But like, I like the settling in. I'm like kind of an old soul, but a lot of girls at bars would like be kind of let down. Like the second I start like asking them and really being intrigued by them and wanting to know about them and like, let's hang out, and they're just like, what? I thought we were gonna get fucked up and bounce right now. And I literally had a girl tell me once, she was staring at me, and this was when I was a personal trainer. She'd be like, she's just staring at me, and I was like, what's going on? And she's like, nothing. I'm like, I just felt like I was being too nice, and I was like, you thought I was gonna be more of a douchebag, right? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, you're kind of let down that I'm not a douchebag, right? And she's like, yeah, a little bit. So
Damn.
I would just always get
my
that.
God.
And so it'd always just be like, they find out I'm like a 9-year-old kid, and I'm like Tom Hanks from Big.
Yeah.
I just want to
That was a
like
good one.
Good for you, man. Just keep it that way.
play with, I know, and I just capitalize on it. Like
Yeah.
I like playing Tony Hawk's Pro Skater when I go home and I get drunk and have fun, and like I just like I'll still listen to Blink-182 like I did like when I was
Hell
8
yeah.
years old, and
Yep.
I probably didn't grow up in a few senses of what I needed to be like mature wise, but maturity. I probably should have studied grammar a little bit more as I'm doing this podcast.
Well, none of us are English majors in here. That's for sure.
So yeah, I kind of capitalized on that a little bit with my comedy. Like I was just like, a lot of people come and watch my sets, and they'll be like, dude, that guy's like, this guy's gonna be bro-y talking about like doing shots and stuff. Because there's like some comics do that, and I don't know if they're like successful, but you'll go to clubs and at mics, they're like, yeah, I was fucking this girl one night and blah blah. And I was just like, I'm not that, but I know people are gonna think that I'm that off the, on the poster of me coming out. And so I just try to be myself, and then I was like, what's me? And I'm like, that's not what I look like though. So it's kind of, I look like a bro, but I'm searching for more. I'm searching for somebody that will watch Disney Plus with me at the end of the night.
And there you have it, folks. That's Gage Johnson, the hopeless bromantic. Amazing. Great guy. Check him out. He's going to be at the Brea Improv on November 19th. He's headlining a show with some great comics as well. He's going to kill it. Get your tickets at breaimprov.com. You got a promo code or something?
Promo code awkward.
Promo code awkward.
My
Get your
Insta
tickets.
is at Gage, Gage, and
And you can follow this podcast at on the DL_pod on Instagram. Same thing on Twitter. I don't know if I've done anything on Twitter yet. And then my personal Instagram account is at David_label, I believe. If not, fuck it.
fuck it.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you very much.
We out.
That was fun.
Dude, that was fucking awesome.
Sorry, I didn't mean to get all sexual with that. I was like,
No,
I don't
no,
know
that's
if we're gonna
perfect.
cut that out or something.
No, I felt like it was deep and fucking real, and then I kind of fucked up with like the timing of that one thing.
Oh, dude, it's fine.